EGM Network.
From Studio A in sunny Florida, welcome to Beauty and the Beach Radio, where it's all about who's beautifying Vero Beach. Today's show is brought to you by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. And here's your host and glamour girl, makeup artist, Cindy Goetz.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. We hope you've had a beautiful week. We are getting past Hurricane Milton. We're getting cleaned up. Thank goodness. We are getting back to normal. And I am so excited about today's show. So I have a question for you. Okay. Are you ready? Here's your question. What is black and white, lives in the ocean, and has a large dorsal fin? Cindy, I think you know the answer to this.
Is it the ORCA, the ORCA?
It's the ORCA. Yes.
ORCA.
Come on, you get the button. She had no idea how I was setting this up, and I'm dying laughing because anyway, we'll get into it. Yeah. So ORCA, you guys, or killer whale, is a highly intelligent social mammal. This endangered toothed whale is the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family, recognized by its black and white body pattern and huge dorsal fin. Now, ancient sailors, if you're wondering how it got its name, do you know this, Cindy? Ancient sailors.
I do not.
Okay. Observations of groups of orcas hunting and preying on larger whale species gave orcas the name killer whale.
Okay. All right. It had to have been somebody ancient because they've been around for a really long time.
Right? Exactly.
It wasn't us.
So listen. Okay. Yeah. So now that I have your attention, we are actually not talking about killer whales today. However, we are discussing a different kind of orca. That's right, Cindy. We actually have two orcas. We have the killer whales, and then we have an organization right here in our backyard, right here in Vero Beach, and it's called ORCA. It's an organization that shares the same preservation of our waters and species, just like we are trying to preserve our orca whales. How about that?
Okay, that right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So listen, ORCA, if you've not heard of them right here in Vero Beach, they are amazing. That stands for Ocean Research and Conservation Association. It is a Vero Beach-based nonprofit organization focused on preserving the Indian River Lagoon that we love so much through science, restoration, advocacy, and education. And I'm so excited about today's guest. She is first time on radio, so I told her I'd be really nice to her. But I'm super excited. She's brand new to ORCA, and she is here to talk about the great things. So what you're going to learn today is what ORCA is doing for Vero Beach, and then what you guys can do to help them. And I think you're totally going to be on board when you hear the kind of things that they're doing and the fun things that you can do to be a part of the process. So let me introduce our guest. She is the research assistant at Ocean Research and Conservation Association, ORCA. She joined ORCA as a research assistant in the summer, this past summer. In this role, she plays a vital part in coordinating the pollution mapping and land to sea citizen science projects. Sounds like a lot of fun, actually. She collaborates with volunteers, listen up, guys, and partners to facilitate data collection and analysis, engaging the community in meaningful scientific research. And I also found out before we hit the record button that she is a former competitive dancer, and she's also a certified scuba diver. Please welcome, first time on the show, Natalie Stephens.
Thank you so much, Cindy. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to talk about all the amazing work we do at ORCA, representing my amazing Environmental Conservation Association. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So thrilled. And I can't wait for people to hear what you're doing and how they can be involved. Let's back it up a little bit. ORCA started with someone that lives right here in our community. Give just like a minute background of Edie and who she is and kind of the exciting things that she's doing for us and in her career.
Absolutely. So ORCA was founded in 2005 by Dr. Edie Witter. Before that, even so, just an amazing feat with creating her own environmental organization. She has done a lot of cutting edge research in the deep sea. So she has gone on numerous deep sea submarine trips. So she has found amazing footage of deep sea squids. One of her specialties is bioluminescence, and she's created innovative technologies that have actually shown this bioluminescence that we have actually never seen before. So she has seen so much that we wouldn't be able to see, you know, just as you and me, everyday people in our environment. So she really has paved the way for deep sea research. And then, of course, with the founding of ORCA, has really paved the way for all the amazing restoration opportunities that are here in our backyard. So the Indian River Lagoon. So not only is she a legend for, you know, our field, but she has also really been paving the way for women scientists like me. Yeah. So really, really amazing work that she's done.
I know you said you were so excited to be able to work, you know, with her and be a part of something really big here in this community.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. So, you know, obviously preserving the lagoon is vital for both environmental and economic health. We talked about that earlier with tourism. One way you are helping to restore our Indian River Lagoon is through living shorelines. Tell us what this Living Shorelines is all about.
Absolutely. So my project that I'm the coordinator for is called Land to Sea, and Land to Sea initiative is both land-based and water-based restoration. And so our water-based restoration are our living shorelines. And so you'll see on some of our beaches and our shorelines here, even in Vero Beach, you'll see a lot of erosion. You'll see a lot of storm damage. So to combat that and actually stabilize the shoreline, we implement living shorelines that use both native Florida-friendly vegetation as well as natural breakwaters. So we'll use biodegradable materials like oyster reef balls, which I think a picture is going to be shown here soon.
Yes.
And all of this is made out of biodegradable materials. And what it's doing is it's first stabilizing that shoreline. So when there is a lot of storm damage that would be rushing from high wave action, it'll be buffering the shoreline. So again, that first goal is to stabilize and help shoreline building. And then there's also secondary benefits of these living shorelines, like increasing biodiversity. So even a few months after the installation of these living shorelines with that chemical and physical barrier, we'll see lots of different fish species. We'll see lots of marine invertebrates. We also see that these living shorelines are helping sequester carbon and filter the pollutants out of the Indian River Lagoon. Wow. So lowering all the pollutants that are coming from that landward source. And as well, we're just seeing a lot of protection and again, increasing the amount of organisms, and not only organisms like the fishes that I talked about, but also aquatic plants, so seagrasses. And so it's really creating such a diverse ecosystem. And again, really helping with that water quality through such things as oyster recruitment. So the oysters will recruit to these natural oyster reef balls and help filter the water as well.
Wow, that is so fascinating. I love it. I love it. So let's talk about the environmental impact, which you've kind of touched on this project. ORCA is working towards a broader effort to safeguard the lagoon for future generations and encourage the adoption of nature-based solutions, which you've already kind of touched on. Tell us more about how that's involved with this effort.
Absolutely. So as I alluded to a little bit before, there is such a huge impact of these living shorelines. Not only do they filter out the pollutants that are going into the water, like I said, from land-based sources, such as stormwater runoff, which could have herbicides, pet waste, and we're seeing the increase of pollutants like phosphate, nitrate, and nitrite, and ammonia. So what these living shorelines are doing is, again, allowing for that filtering of the pollutants, sequestering that carbon that we're seeing actually flowing into the water as well. We're also seeing that shoreline erosion actually being prevented. And so that is through those physical breakwaters. So those oyster reef balls will have hundreds of them out on the shoreline, and they really help to stabilize and, again, build. So we're actually seeing a building of the shoreline versus the retreating of it. So it's really amazing. And
I want people to understand, this is pretty significant. I have a note here that 127 linear feet of turf grass into a vegetative buffer zone and install 265 feet of living shoreline.
Absolutely.
So I wanted people to understand this is huge.
Yes, it is amazing. And so for our land-based restoration, we currently have 9 vegetated buffers that homeowners or parks have implemented on the area right before it enters the Indian River Lagoon. So we've transformed over 11,000 square feet of this turf grass.
Wow.
And for our living shorelines, we now currently have 11 living shorelines with another one on the way, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And these are all have been in Vero Beach so far for our living shorelines, but we're looking to, of course, expand to other areas like Sebastian.
All right. Well, speaking of expansion, I imagine you need volunteers to really help with these big projects. Tell us what you need from volunteers or community. What do you need?
Absolutely. So ORCA, of course, is a small staff, so we heavily rely on our volunteers to help out with our monitoring efforts. And so for our living shorelines, we have a pre and post monitoring, and our newest living shoreline is actually going to be at Riverview Park in Sebastian. And so what we're going to be needing is volunteers on November 15th, 16th, and 17th to help us get these oyster reef balls in. So again, helping with that, putting these physical biodegradable structures in to help with oyster recruitment, as well as buffering that wave action from that storm damage. So volunteers will be there on those 3 days. We have 2 different shifts each day, in the morning and then in the early/late afternoon. And we'll be going out and actually placing these oyster reef balls on the shoreline. So it'll be a lot of fun, heavy lifting. So they're about 55 pounds each.
I was going to say, fun fact, you said earlier, they're over 50 pounds. So you want to make sure these volunteers can, at least, pick up 50 pounds.
Absolutely.
Right?
And of course, we know some people don't want to get in the water necessarily. So we'll have a land and sea team, and we basically create an assembly line. So you won't be having to haul them too long. We'll be kind of handing them off. We have a really great system. But again, we do need the help. And there's also other opportunities to get involved. Of course, we have that November 15th through 17th event, but we also do post monitoring of all of our living shorelines. So if volunteers want to help out with that efforts, we always have our website that they can be directed to, and then they would be put in contact with either me or one of my colleagues and help out with any of the other restoration.
So what I'm hearing is you won't turn down any volunteer.
Absolutely,
so
no.
You'll figure out a way to plug them in to be a part of the process.
Absolutely. And it can be as small as helping out. And again, I say small, but everything that our volunteers do is huge.
Sure.
But it can be anything from helping with our nursery. So we have a nursery in our backyard, and it actually has over 100 different types of plants that we have. So we have mangroves, we have grasses. And what we'll do is we'll actually place those on our living shorelines or in our buffered shorelines as well. And those grasses are just so key and vital to that chemical barrier that we use in our shorelines.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So speaking of the shorelines, the living shorelines, how will you know, that our lagoon will benefit from it? How do you measure that?
Absolutely. So we can definitely already know, and that's We know that from our data-based restoration and monitoring. So what we'll do is, like I said, we don't only just go out and pre-monitor our site, but we'll monitor it 3 months, 6 months, and even a year after the implementation of our living shoreline. So the deployment of those oyster reef balls or whatever module we use in the shoreline. And what we'll measure after that is we'll take water and sediment samples and we'll test those for a variety of different tests. So we'll see water quality. So if it's improving, again, and I say this, that we're looking for patterns. So we want to see what the changes over time are to both the water quality. Is it getting any better from our living shoreline? As well as the sediment. Are we seeing a change in the sediment over time? And then, of course, we'll do things like looking at the biodiversity. Is it increasing over time? Are we seeing more fish? Are we seeing more crabs, more oysters? We also look to see if there's any seagrass popping up. So before our living shorelines, we always do seagrass assessments because we, of course, don't want to interrupt any natural seagrass beds. But the really cool thing is that even 3 to 6 months after the deployment, we'll see seagrass that wasn't there before popping up.
And that was going to be my question. Like, what is kind of that first, time frame that you go, oh, I hope to see positive results? Is it around 6 months or?
So we can see results even after 3 months.
Oh, wow.
It's really
Okay.
amazing. And yes, so we'll see significant reductions in the pollutants, especially for our buffered shorelines. For our buffered shorelines, even 1 month after the installation of these buffers, we'll see a drastically significant reduction in our pollutants such as phosphate. And so that's really driving home that database, that this is actual data and it's used for change. So it's used to drive change, not only throughout our community, but in other areas as well.
It takes a village to do what you're doing at ORCA. And I know you need volunteers, which hopefully, listen up, guys, they need your help November 15th through 17th at Riverside Park in Sebastian. But who else helps to partner with ORCA to help you with these projects? Who are you partnered up with?
Absolutely. So not only do we rely on our volunteers, but we have numerous different environmental organizations, government entities, as well as public entities that we actually partner with. So some of those partners include the city of Sebastian, and that's going to be for our major helper for our Riverview Park living shoreline that's happening November 15th through 17th. We have the Indian River Lagoon Estuary National Program. We have 11th Hour Racing again, and we have other community members that help us out as well. So it really is a team effort. We wouldn't be able to do any of this work without not only the collaboration from these different entities, both government and public, but also from our funders. So it really takes a village.
I love the collaboration. You guys, we're talking about helping out ORCA, helping this cause, keeping our lagoons beautiful and fresh so that we can enjoy it on weekends, on our paddle boards or swimming or boating. So make sure you sign up to volunteer. We'll give you that website. It's November 15, 16, and 17 at Riverview Park in Sebastian. Where can they sign up to volunteer?
Absolutely. So the first and foremost thing that I would say for signing up to volunteer is our teamorca.org website. That is where you'll find everything about us, including how we were founded, as well as all of our different citizen science projects. So we have multiple besides our Land to Sea, but that will be the first place to go. We should have flyers up there, as well as our social media. So we have Facebook and Instagram. So that will be Team ORCA, and you'll find a lot of different areas and QR codes for registering for these events.
All right. Amazing. Talking with Natalie, we're talking about ORCA's effort to help our lagoon November 15, 16, 17 at Riverview Park in Sebastian. You can go to www.teamorca.org to volunteer. Stay with us. We have to go to a station break. We'll be right back.
Enjoy Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Come out this Friday and Saturday night at 6 and 8 p.m. for the Treasure Coast's best live stand-up comedy show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Warning, you may laugh until it hurts. Kickstart your evening with live entertainment, food, and drinks at Live in the Loop. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal Coastal Living, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a huge fall sale with lots of great markdowns and discounts on everything you need for your Florida home, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of brand name closeout and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine.
Ho, ho, ho! Vendors, join our Merry Market at Downtown Friday's Winter Wonderland, presented by GHO Homes and Main Street Vero Beach. Shoppers are ready to unwrap some special finds. Live music with Johnny and the Blaze, food trucks, reindeer games, and a visit from Santa. Ho, ho, ho! Vendors, heat up those sales. Book your space at Downtown Friday's Winter Wonderland. Black Friday, November 29th at 6 p.m. downtown Vero Beach. Ho, ho, ho!
Cindy Goetz, she totally gets it.
Oh my gosh, did you see my prom makeup? She so gets it.
Dude, did you see her before and after makeup on Instagram? That makeup girl gets it.
My wedding makeup was so amazing, and my makeup artist, she totally gets it.
My senior photo makeup rocked. She gets it.
You should see her new Facebook profile. Her makeup artist really gets her.
My eye makeup is so on fleek. Thanks, Cindy Goetz.
Cindy Goetz Makeup Artist, 772-633-4030.
She gets it!
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. I'm Cindy Goetz, your host. We want to thank Dale Sorensen Real Estate for making sure that we are able to get these stories out like ORCA is doing for our community. So thank you, Dale Sorensen Real Estate. They've been family owned since 1978. They have over 200 agents and 12 locations in Florida, so they can definitely take care of you whether you're buying or selling a home. You can find them at 772-231-4712, or you can find them at SorensenRealEstate.com. Thank you, Dale Sorensen Real Estate. We also want to thank Varietals and More. They always make sure we have a lovely beverage for our guest, and it's always themed according to the title of what we're doing. And of course, Rob and Michelle over at Varietals picked out, because we were talking about water and conservation, they picked out Nautilus. It's a wonderful Sauvignon Blanc from Australia. And as Cindy said, it's very grassy. And so we're keeping it very earthy today, but it's very delicious. I think it's great for summer. So it's called Nautilus. Go to Varietals right on Royal Palm Point in Vero. If you mention Beauty and the Beach Radio, you will get this bottle at 10% off. So happy. Okay, and celebrate the fact that you just signed up to volunteer for this event, Natalie. So we're so excited. So the ORCA Shoreline Restoration Project, again, November 15, 16, and 17. We have about a minute left. What can people expect for the day? How many hours? What should they wear?
Absolutely. So each of our 3 days will have 2 3-hour shifts. So what you'll need to wear is or closed-toe shoes. I recommend anything that you don't mind getting either dirty, sandy, or wet. Definitely lots of sunscreen. Bring lots of water because, of course, it's Florida and it is always hot. Any snacks that you might need. The rest should be covered.
I think you said you provide gloves. Is that
yes,
right?
we will have gloves. Yep, because we don't want anyone to get any hurt. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, love that. You want to keep your volunteers. Yeah. Okay, so you can expect that. And then, one more thing before we go. This data that you're collecting, tell us about that, and has it made already an impact in Vero Beach?
Absolutely. So our data is driving change. Through the significant reductions in pollutants such as phosphate in our land-based restoration, so our buffered shorelines, we've actually seen a ordinance in the city of Vero Beach passed where there's an establishment of a buffer zone in parcels of land that are next to the Indian River Lagoon. So because we've collected all this data with our volunteers and seen those just drastic differences, we really are driving change in the city of Vero.
That's so exciting because I know it's got to be frustrating sometimes to clean up and then the same problem comes back.
Absolutely. So it is our hope with our, greener aspects. So our Land to Sea initiative is that we're promoting these greener restoration techniques, and hopefully they're not just a Band-Aid solution. Hopefully they're a long-lasting change.
All right. So you guys, let's make it great for Natalie. November 15, 16, 17, you can go to www.teamorca, that's ORCA.org. One last question, 30 seconds. What's your favorite part about working with ORCA?
Wow. I'd have to say my favorite part about working with ORCA is our volunteers.
Aww.
I've never seen a more dedicated and passionate group of people who are really just so excited and know so much about restoring the Indian River Lagoon.
All right. Meet Natalie Stephens. Go volunteer. Make a difference. We love you. All right. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.